Welcome to another episode of the House Husband Diaries. As always, I am your host, Carter C. Today I'm continuing a little series that I started that I entitled That Time I Was. I'm just sharing a few stories about my previous job experiences in travel, just experiences in general. And part of why I'm doing this, and people are not real interested in some of these videos, is twofold. So one, I love the fact in all of my travels and all the people that I've met, I love hearing people's stories. And so part of this is just me sharing stories verbally because I can get them out in 10, 15, 25 minutes and upload them to YouTube, and those stories are told in first person by me. Done. If anybody ever wants to see them, what have you, writing those stories takes a lot more effort, a lot more time, and I feel like we scrutinize writings a lot more. Did they use the right punctuation? Did they say that correctly? I feel like a lot more effort and time is needed to go through and write down stories, your memoirs, those types of things. So this is just an opportunity for me to kind of tell those stories, get them out there, and then the idea will be I have a bunch of stories out there. People will know them, they'll see them, and then as I move to having guests, which is what this space is for the guests on future episodes, we can go back and forth. They know something about me. If they don't know me, if they do know me, then they already knew some of these stories, but that's kind of what I was thinking. So this episode is that time I was a licensed financial advisor with Morgan Stanley. True story, as are all of the stories at the House Husband Diaries. But I was graduating college in the early 2000s, right after 9/11, and stock market, tech bubble had crashed. It's a big dip. I don't remember. I should have looked up to see what the stock market was back in May of 2002, but it was much, 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 much lower than where it is now in 2020. So a good buddy of mine and I would run into each other on campus. We were at UNC Chapel Hill, and it's a big campus. A lot of people go to school there, and really, we would just run. We'd cross paths every now and then, and he would always ask me like, "Hey, how's job hunt going?" And I was like, I don't know. I haven't even started. And I think the last time we talked was maybe March, like the last time we ran into each other, and he was like, "Dude, we're gonna graduate in like a month and a half, 2 months. I've had all these interviews, and you're just not gonna like. This is a tough. It's a tough market to find a job. It's gonna be really a pain, and you're way behind." And I was like, "Thanks, you're a great friend," and okay. But at the time, I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life, and so I knew I was good with numbers. I knew I had a good personality. I can talk to anybody, and that was it. And so I was looking at, do I do some sort of accounting, like my family business? Do I go into some sort of financial advising, numbers and people? Is there something else? Do I go into some sort of acting or, I don't know, who knows? I really didn't know what I wanted to do. So, and that's a whole nother story of how do you find out, what you're good at and what you want to do for a living. In school and all that jazz, and I'd be interested to hear other people's stories because I don't really know. But anyway, saw this job for a financial advisor, applied, went through the interviews, obviously got the job, passed the test. So now I'm like 21, 22, graduated college at 21, and had my first birthday in the bullpen of Morgan Stanley, and they made me stand up on the chair and recite or sing my college's fight song. So, this is a little bit of fun hazing, but I was 21 to turn 22. I'm a licensed financial advisor, and the idea, what I thought the job was going to be, when I got it was that I was going to have some sort of inside knowledge into how the markets worked and how companies work, the future growth of a company, and that I'd be able to take that knowledge and those tips, and I'd be able to help people who have worked honest, hard, jobs, whatever, and scraped and saved money. I'd be able to take that knowledge and help those people earn bukus of money, just make a lot of money in the stock market so that they could retire more comfortably than they thought maybe they could, or to retire sooner than they thought they could. And, maybe make a six-figure income for myself and my family down the road. That's kind of what I thought that job was going to be. And it's really interesting because I think a lot of other people have that thought when you hear a financial advisor, Morgan Stanley, Merrill Lynch, some of the big Wall Street companies. But it just wasn't. And I think this was kind of the start of how it's like the what is it? The Wizard of Oz, right? And they finally make it to Oz, and then they pull back the curtain, and there's this little dude, and he's pulling all these levers and stuff. And so you get these jobs that you think are going to be amazing, and oh, it's just so great, and then what the actuality is. So right today, it's like Instagram model versus reality. And you see all these beautiful people, and they're like, Instagram versus reality. And you're like, okay, whatever. So, you're just a beautiful person. I'm glad you're making money off your beauty, but let's be honest. Most of us aren't that beautiful, and we're not really, we're not going to earn a living off that. So, financial advising, what is it actually? And really how I like to say it, I'm not going to earn any friends right now. I'm about to, thankfully few people are watching this, but I'm going to earn very few friends off this. Basically being a financial advisor, in my opinion, having been one, is you're just a used car salesman with a fancier suit because you make more money. It's just sales. That's all it is. You don't get inside knowledge. I mean, they have people that do research on companies. They tell you what they think, but they don't know. Nobody knows, because nobody knows what these CEOs are doing. If there's any backroom deals, if they're struggling with any addiction problems. I mean, hell, at one point over the last 15, 20 years, Martha Stewart went to prison, right? Now, Martha Stewart, well, buy her company stock, and then all of a sudden she goes to prison and, her stock drops, and that's when you should have bought it. But of course, hindsight's 2020. You never were sure if she was going to come back from prison, if she was going to get back involved in her company, if she was going to continue to grow it. Nobody knew. So basically, what it actually is you just sit there and you have late nights where we would have call nights where they would say, okay, take a phone book and just pick a letter and then just start calling people over dinner. You know that these people are home because they're probably trying to have a nice dinner, and we're being forced to call. And then there were prizes to see who could make the most sales during call night. So you get rewarded for bothering other people when they're just trying to enjoy their dinners after a hard day's work. It's crazy. And then I told you about singing the fight song. I mean, that's fun, but all the new guys had to sit in the bullpen, which was the offices were around the edge. They got windows, and then inside was the bullpen, and that was just kind of like what do they call it? When you just have little partitions and stuff. There's the Office Space, the movie. But anyway, whatever that's called, I'm totally mind blanking on that. But just a little cubby or something. So we would just you'd sit there and you'd be in the bullpen, and you had to earn enough, money, enough clients to then be able to be put into an office. And then if you never got your business up to the point where it was making enough money, you never got an office, and you lose a job because they weren't going to have you around, not doing a whole lot of anything, because it was really about making money. And it was crazy because they had a drawer in the little kitchenette area that every single one of the financial advisors had their monthly income and it was ranked. And so it was like this massive, intense competition within each office of, hey, how are you doing? And it's public knowledge how much money you're making, and by seeing how much money you're making, how much you're getting off of your commissions, then people kind of through that they can see how much money you have under management, or they kind of do their own math. So basically, you look at and you go, okay, well, this person's making this much a month, this person's making this much a month, and then people go, hey, how come you're having a bad month, or hey, how come you're not doing your job? And it's just kind of like, it's just weird to have a whole bunch of people that don't know your clients, that don't know any of those situations, looking at the money that you're making and the commissions that you're earning, and then now you've got 50 people in an office that, it's public knowledge in an office, but it shouldn't be, right? Like if I'm investing my money with a financial advisor, I don't want 50 other people to see that part of my money is going to making that person's salary. It was just weird, and it's stuff that school never teaches you, college never teaches you, school never teaches you. Maybe this is where parents come in. I don't know, but I was just so shocked at just the way that the business was run and the way it's portrayed in our lives. Being a financial advisor is just not it's not as fancy as they want you to think it is. And so I think what's interesting is after I left that job after a couple of years, and I've got stories for that for another day, but I did a bunch of other things, which will be future episodes. And then I went back to school and I got a master's in accounting. And so now I've been a licensed financial advisor in my early 20s. I went back to school, got a master's degree in accounting. I've worked in public accounting for a number of years, prepared tax returns, all of that jazz. And so and then I married a surgeon. And so people have asked me, and friends of mine, people in our wedding and all that are also doctors. And they've asked me, to go back into financial advising, wealth management, taxes, that kind of stuff, because I could really help out a bunch of people with not only the financial advising side, but the accounting side. And I think it's just so interesting, because as much as I want to help people in that way, I don't feel like I can really add anything, of value, because I don't know that the people that are supposedly adding value, the financial advisors out there, are adding any value. The stock market's going to go up or down regardless of whether that financial advisor is there. Period. So it seems disingenuous to charge you 1 or 2%, or whatever the going rate is in today's day and age, just for you to house your money with me. It's just such an awkward business model, and yet it's the one that's out there. And so no, I don't. I don't want to get back into it, because really what happens is at some point the market's going to correct, and people are going to lose a lot of money, especially the people that have a lot of money in the stock market. And if they're your clients, your customers, then they're going to lose a lot of money. There's nothing that I'm going to do or going to know ahead of time to save, $250,000, $5 million, whatever these crazy amounts of people, or crazy amounts of money that these people, wealthy people have. Whoever their financial advisor is probably going to lose a lot of business. But that financial advisor isn't at fault. They may have sold themselves out to know more than they know, but really it's just an awkward thing to have friendships and then to say, hey, I'm going to help you manage your money, and then when the stock market goes down or real estate prices, real estate bubbles burst, you're not in control of that. And even when you look at the financial markets, you look at the housing markets, and you look at credit, and you go, that's kind of past due, like theoretically or intellectually, it doesn't make sense. And people go, oh, no, it's fine. And then years later, it crashes, and people go, oh, we should have seen that coming. But nobody wants to hear it hear it at the time that it's going to go down, because everybody wants to make money hand over fist year after year. They never want to lose. And so what you really have is kind of like this legal Vegas, like it's legalized gambling, stock market, housing, rental markets, all those things. And it's just really hard to find a group of people to say, all right, I'll get back into this business, but there's just a lot of stress because people are going to then blame you, like you somehow were supposed to know when the market was going to tank or crash. And that's just something where I don't want to put money in front of friendships, and that's just a personal thing. And maybe if there's enough people and they say, hey, we want you to get back in it, maybe when I'm 50, give me 10 years of doing the House Husband Diaries, and then if this isn't successful, maybe when I'm 50, I'll moonlight and we'll get back in it. But anyway, that's the story of that time I was a licensed financial advisor. If you have any questions, if you have any thoughts, let me know in the comments. You can email me at carter@househusbanddiaries@hhdiaries.com. Sorry. And hope you have a great day. Another episode. And I'll talk to you the next day. Talk to you tomorrow. Have a good one.